Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and today I'm making a tier list of all the engines of the Pokemon TCG, and if it's not on here, it's bad. Don't play it. Or maybe I just forgot something, but I think I have all the engines here, so let's just hop straight into it with a good old S through F tier list. And I haven't really thought of how this is going to go. I don't know if anything's going to end up in F. We'll see. But starting off with Radiant Greninja, this is an alright card. You discard energy to draw 2. It's a basic. It does take up your Radiant. It's probably the best Radiant, but honestly, its use in a lot of decks is kind of underwhelming. It does allow you to draw a few extra cards throughout the course of the game, and sometimes getting the energy in the discard is super good. But honestly, it's a bit underwhelming, and if it's your main engine, you're probably not going to set up super well. So I find that, like, in decks that play it, for example, the Dialga deck, the Dialga V-Star deck, it actually does play a few of these other engine cards, but the main one that works every turn pretty consistently is the Radiant Greninja. And honestly, it, like, kind of doesn't set up very well in the middle game, even though you can definitely use it every turn because you play enough energy. And then other decks that play it. Like, for example, Palkia really likes it. Lost Zone likes it, but it's not necessarily drawing a ton of cards. So if it's B tier, it's good. And if you're attacking with it, it'll be bumped up to A tier, maybe even S, but probably A. But I'd say it's B tier as an engine. Gallade. I actually have Kirlia, Gardevoir, and Gallade all in this list. Actually, no, I'll go with the other Radiant first. Radiant Eternus here was pretty underwhelming. I don't even know if it's an engine exactly, but I'll put it in D tier. It doesn't really, like, draw you cards. It's just not that good of a card overall, in my opinion. Although it does have some nice synergy with a few cards, I guess. I can't really think of what those cards are, though, so I'm going to give it D tier. It's pretty underwhelming as an engine. For getting up certain attackers, it's good, but I'm just not a big fan of the card overall, unfortunately. And I'd say Radiant Greninja, in terms of an engine, is definitely better. And then we go to stuff. I'm going to move all the multi-prizes to the end, I think. But so Kirlia, Gardevoir, Gallade. So these are kind of different, kind of the same. But Kirlia is just very good. It's got a S tier. Is that too much? Yeah, not every deck can do it. So one Kirlia by itself isn't a ton, but when you have multiple setup, it's very strong. Obviously, it evolves into Gardevoir EX, one of the best EXs in the game, and has access to the Gardevoir and Gallade, which are both pretty good. It's a very solid engine. There's argument to be made that's the best engine in the game, but I'd say probably not. I'm not exclusively rating these in terms of how good they are as engines and how well they do our cards. If they have some other benefit, then I guess I'll talk about it. But in terms of Kirlia, it's very good. But only one Kirlia isn't enough to provide your, like, whole engine. So that's why I'd say it's A tier, not S tier. And then talking about Gardevoir and Gallade, you don't, like, they have access to Kirlia, which is really nice. I was considering doing them separately or just grouping them all into one. Putting them all in A tier feels okay because, you know, they're all pretty good. Gardevoir, no, Gardevoir's not that good. It doesn't consistently hit energy. Just carrying one card from your hand isn't that big of a deal. The Gallade is super good because it allows you to search for a supporter, which is just really good, allowing you to have more versatility and consistency throughout the game. So Gallade's insane. If it wasn't for the Kirlia, it wouldn't be as good, but still very good. Honestly, I'm tempted to move Gardevoir down one and then Gallade down one as well. I think I'll do that. They're both stage 2s, and having to use a stage 2, I just realized that I don't have Hisuian Samurott on this list. I'm also sorry if my volume changed there a little bit, but Hisuian Samurott's like just go 1 draw 3. That one's pretty bad. No one plays it. Gardevoir and Gallade are kind of similar, except they have the powerful Kirlia engine behind them, which kind of keeps them afloat, but they're not quite good enough. Especially Gardevoir by itself isn't strong enough, unfortunately. It did actually see play, but it wasn't that good. It's an attacker, but we're talking about engines here, and Gardevoir doesn't feel that amazingly. And now we have stuff like, I'll talk about Revavroom next, I guess. I really should have ordered these before I started. You'll go in, like, this order. There we go. So Revavroom is pretty good, I guess. I don't know. It's discard 1, discard an energy from your hand like Radiant Greninja, then draw till you have 6 cards in hand. It draws a lot. But then there's obviously the issue that you need an energy in hand, which I think is just very awkward for some decks. Can't think of too many decks that really want it. Maybe Magma Basin decks, but that's about it. So it's a bit too awkward. One of the reasons why having Bibarel is so nice is because, I guess I'll talk about Bibarel as well right now, because it it's like very consistent, works anytime. It's very reliable. And Revavroom doesn't have that reliability. Instead, has more power and utility within certain decks, but also a downside in certain decks. For example, special energy decks like, say, Lugia would never want to play this. Not that they played Barrel, I don't think, but still, Revavroom is gotta be. I'll put in D tier, I think. There's some pretty like bad ones on this. Nothing's actually off on this list. I don't have. I'm gonna delete F tier, I think. I'm probably just will leave it empty. I've tried to include good engines, but Revavroom is just very underwhelming in my opinion, and not strong enough. Unless you need very specific synergy, we're going to be discarding tons of cards, and without Quick Ball, it's not as good. So it's a D tier, unfortunately. Again, not awful, but Barrel's better. I'm going to put that in A tier. It's just so reliable throughout the course. Oh, I feel bad. I'll put Revavroom in C. Honestly, Barrel's better than Kirlia, as it's very consistent throughout the game. And if you only have one Barrel setup, you're very good. And honestly, you're almost set for the whole game in terms of draw. You do need to have ways of. Now, to put it below Kirlia, you can theoretically be in a spot where you have a Barrel and you still have a dead hand and you can't escape it. Kirlia will always kind of help you get out of that dead hand, but Barrel will not, because you can just be in that dead hand with no way to discard cards and then you're just losing. So it's A tier, though, very good, and actually has some synergy with another card on this list as well. And then we have Octillery, which is not that good. I'm going to go with like D tier. It's a card that can be super strong. The best part is it searches any Rapid Strike card from your deck. The best part is it searches Rapid Strike energy, because anything else you could just search out in a different way. It is somewhat versatile, but the issue is that it can't give you a very strong supporter. That being Karina's Focus, so if you need like a combo turn, or you want like boss or something that turn, you just can't. It doesn't draw any cards, and it's just a bit weak in terms of that, which is probably the most important aspect of an engine card. And its other utility isn't that good. It's a stage 1 still. It's very niche. It sees playing like Rapstrike, Urshifu, Inteleon, and Empoleon style decks. No one really plays Empoleon V. I saw someone play it, but generally it doesn't see too much play. But I don't know. It's not even inclusion in every Rapid Strike deck. It's just a bit underwhelming to me. It's not bad, but compared to a lot of other engines, it's just not good enough. And then Skwovet. Obviously, we all know where this is going. Nah, just kidding. It's Skwovet is going in S tier. Super awesome. S for Skwovet. Because Skwovet's really cool. It's very versatile. It's like a basic. So it's like Radiant Ninja, kind of, except you don't have to discard an energy from your hand. Obviously, it does put you down to 1 card in hand. But, I really don't have Altaria on this list. Altaria's not that good. It's fun with Mustard, but it's completely enabled by Skwovet as well, mostly. I wouldn't really ever play Altaria without Skwovet. So, it has nice synergy with the Barrel, very strong, allowing you to draw extra cards, actually enabling the Barrel to be in an engine every turn. There are times when the Barrel, as I said, would just clog up, and especially during the middle game, you're drawing almost no cards with the Barrel. Skwovet as a basic, allowing you to activate this Pokemon, is very nice. It doesn't take up a lot of deck space, and it does take up a lot of bench space if you want to play multiple of them down. But I think its value is just so good. I know I hype up Skwovet a bit too much. But it's very fun, very powerful as well in terms of combos and as a general engine. You do probably need to pair it with some other engine, that being Altaria or Barrel. But honestly, I think its power and versatility is good enough. It's kind of like Revavroom, which is very alright. Probably would end up in B tier if we're still in the format, but maybe even A. But it just has so much versatility in what it can do, and more importantly, it enables so many strong combos, especially in terms of Muster, reducing your hand size down. In terms of control, I think it's very good as well. I haven't actually played control in current standard. I need to do it, but it's very expensive to craft, unfortunately, because Pokemon doesn't give you any of the pieces, which is debatably good. But Skwovet, obviously getting its own tier here. Mew's alright. Honestly, should Kirlia be bumped up? I don't know. The fact that I've kind of like broken up Kirlia, Gardevoir, and Gallade is kind of weird. I guess if I put them all together, it'll go in S tier as well. But it's still going to be Skwovet tier, because Skwovet's the GOAT, right? Mew is whatever. It has synergy with Gardevoir, but it's not even that broken in Gardevoir. Honestly, I use it a lot in Gardevoir, but I'll put it in B tier, I guess. yeah, Skwovet's like super fun though. I feel like naming it Skwovet here though is a bit too much. Nah, it's fine. But also like part of why I moved Kirlia up is because when it's paired with the Gardevoir and Gallade, it's just so strong. So putting him all on this list is kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about that. And then obviously Mew is also part of Gardevoir decks. It's very good. Radiant Greninja is as well, but Mew's very important. Radiant Greninja sees more like play in various decks though. But yeah, this looks fine. Comfey is I put an S tier. It's an S tier deck, I guess, but like its draw power is like kind of bad, so I'm gonna have to drop it down to A tier. It does draw like almost no cards, but it draws the same amount of cards as Skwovet, so it's not like awful, but like it's kind of like very similar to Skwovet, where it has synergy, but it doesn't actually have synergy with engine cards. It just has synergy with attackers. So Comfey is like a very, very strong card. I'll only put an A tier because I'm only talking about draw potential, not weighting offensive pressure as much. So Comfey obviously enables like Cramorant, Sableye, Mirage, which is just some of the best cards in the game right now, but it'll end up in A tier because it's not it's just not like a draw card. It only draws one card. You see two. Sometimes it can really like mess with you as well if you hit two very important cards. So that's kind of bad. Like there's a reason no one plays Comfey outside of Lost Zone. And then we see the EXs, Vs, stuff like that. I'll do Shadow Rider next. And then Arceus. I mean, these are both kind of weird. You can only use I'll do Arceus. You can only use Arceus once per game, but it's very strong when you use it. Also, I didn't put any like trainer cards on this list because I just didn't think that really made sense. But yeah, I think Arceus. Oh, I don't really know how to put this. As an engine, it's just kind of weird, but it's just not good enough as an engine, I don't think. I'll put it in C tier. You can only use it once per game. People talk about having an Arceus engine, and then they don't set up. So you need another engine for it, and that's just not a sign of a good card. I mean, obviously, like something like Skwovet, you also need another engine. You probably need another engine. Radiant Greninja, you need another engine, but they're all better than Arceus. In terms of engine power, Arceus it is only one turn. So, like, it's good for that one turn, and then your opponent judges you, and then all of a sudden you're completely lost. So, yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's a very good card. It's a very good attacker. Out of all the Pokemon on this list, it's probably the best attacker, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about engines, so it's going to end up in C tier. C for Arceus. And then we have Shadow Rider. This is like an okay draw engine, nice energy acceleration, but it's kind of like awkward to use. Kind of like a bad version of Kirlia. I'll still put it in B tier. It's very strong. Honestly, in the meta right now, it's pretty alright as well. There's the issue that it just like kind of slow to set up as an attacker, but in terms of energy acceleration, it's very good, and more importantly, in terms of draw, it's alright. It's kind of like Welder. Doesn't draw a ton. I'll drop it down to C tier. I can't really think of putting it in B tier now that I think about it because it just isn't. It doesn't draw enough, and it's too slow. And like too situational as well. It has like the Revavroom factor of you need an energy in hand. Radiant Greninja is okay, but you can only use one Radiant Greninja per turn. Radiant Greninja just is better. It's a basic as well. Now we have a Miraidon EX, and I'll do Rotom as well, but Miraidon, it sees play as like a setup and attacker, and it's like a Regieleki deck, which is okay. It's not like that good. Honestly, to me, it's like an F tier. I decided I'm going to put an F tier. Although it has a lot of versatility in the Dialga deck, or like power in the Dialga deck, it really does something that you could do anyways. So, to me, it doesn't have the oomph factor. It's like, oh, I could search all these. It's like playing a Battle VIP pass. But I'd probably rather have Battle VIP pass because having Miraidon on your bench isn't great. It's just a liability that's going to get KO'd, and it's worth 2 prizes. It could just get like kind of stuck in the active. Probably not, but it also provides like no value essentially after the first turn of the game. So it's pretty much just like a Battle VIP pass that's searchable, but you could just search for basic Pokemon instead. So it's not amazing. It's pretty underwhelming. Rotom V is okay. I'll put in. I mean, it's not that good. It's in bottom of D tier, but it allows you to search for. Draw 3 cards at the end of every turn instead of attacking, which is kind of questionable, but it works in certain decks. And it has like power. It's kind of like Zacian V, which certainly is top play as an engine card. So There's a bunch of Judge, but it's not like in every deck. You're not going to get Judge every turn. I definitely think in D tier is okay. You don't play this in decks unless you like have some very specific need for it, but I think it has value. Genesect. Genesect's got to be B tier, top of B. Or A. I'll put it in B. It gets countered by a lot of stuff, and it's like the whole deck's engine. Honestly, Genesect V is the MUV Max deck, so yeah, if it ever gets shut down, which it does like half the time, it just can cause big problems. You just need all these Pokemon in play. It limits your options, but it's still very strong when it works. But it makes you have to play a certain way, which is sometimes problematic. So B tier are very strong, but also has its downsides. And then honestly, this is such a weird video. I keep like talking up the D tiers to convince you guys that I'm putting in D, and then like talk down the S tiers because they're so good. Not the S tiers, but like the A, B tiers to say why they're like not good enough. But Lumineon will be A tier, I think, and it rounds things off nicely as well. Because it's very. Is it higher than a barrel? Yeah, it probably is. In terms of it allows you to search for a supporter. No, I'll drop it down a little. I'll say here, that's fine, yeah. Because it can't be used with Nest Ball, which is really unfortunate. You have to use it with Ultra Ball. It allows you to search for a supporter, which is okay, but yeah, you can attack with it as well to send it back. It does a lot of versatility in a few different decks, but also, in my opinion, it's like can just be too vulnerable in some matchups or just a bit too like awkward having to lose that bench space, but it's still very strong and can win you games, can allow you to set up. So yeah, honestly, I'm pretty happy with this tier list. I think it looks nice, but I hope you enjoyed. I wonder what your thoughts are. Tell me if you think I did any mistakes. I think I did all the cards right. Everything looks good, but yeah, I don't think I forgot anything that's actually that good. But yeah, comment down below your thoughts. But I hope you enjoyed. As always, I'm excited to see you in the next video. See ya.